The balance between tradition and modernity is a struggle in the South Asian community, and I'm sure most of you can relate. So on this episode of ANOKHI Pulse TV, we take a look at web series Anarkali and how it's helping shed light on the conversation between East versus West and cultural expectation versus liberation.
I'm not in love with you.
2 months till our wedding?
You need to get out there again. You need to start dating.
So we are making an introduction.
Introduction for what?
For marriage.
Do you have any hobbies?
No, Mamiji doesn't encourage them because it cuts into family time.
Anarkali is an online romantic comedy where South Asian traditions meet modern dating. It's about 3 South Asian women born and raised in Toronto, Canada, struggling with parental and social pressures to get married. Through laughter and comedy, the show explores what it means to be a South Asian today in the world of love, dating, relationships, family, and the diaspora. There's more than what meets the eye when it comes to Anarkali, and APTV speaks with the show's creator and lead actress to find out the important message behind this entertaining show.
Anarkali's been with me, I think, for over 14 years.
Wow.
For a long time, I was thinking about it. How would we do it? I really wanted to tell the story. Growing up, you're watching Friends, you're watching Beverly Hills, 90210. Those things really framed ideas of relationships. So I really wanted something that really explored the diaspora and our experiences here. Because I mean, I'm a fan of Bollywood. I watch a lot of Bollywood, but DDLJ is not my love story. It will never be my love story.
Aside from Bollywood, when we watched phenomenal shows, that have become iconic in history, we were excluded from that conversation when it came to relationships, or even when it came to how the portrayal of parents and children. We're very excluded from that. How did you start that conversation?
All my artistic content has to do with me, my stories, my friends' stories, my cousins' stories, right? So I think with Anarkali, it became a beast of its own, which is fantastic. Because you're working with people and you're like, what about this story? And how about tying this in? And how about tying that in? So I think I had an idea, a concept of Anarkali, but it's taken on its own identity. I love that. I want to honor that and respect that.
Indian girls don't do open relationships.
I'm Indian and I do them.
Well, it's gonna end in a disaster. You're gonna catch feelings and he's gonna break your heart.
I love him, okay? And I already have feelings for him, like deep ones. Maybe you should try sometimes if you ever get a moment away from work.
Well, unlike you, I have a career.
You guys tackle dating. And dating is such a huge thing in our community. I don't even know if there's a formula to do it, whether it's gay relationships, straight relationships, whether it's a fixed marriage, or if it's, a love marriage, as we call it. What have been some of the challenges in that portrayal with Anarkali? And what are some of the viewer feedback that you've been getting from people in our community?
In terms of dating, I think I wanted to be as realistic as possible. There's a lot of stuff, in terms of dating, I don't cover that I would like to explore in future seasons. One of them is like gay relationships. That's never talked about, and I don't know. I think if we don't talk about it, a lot of people will be afraid to explore it in the future, and I think that's important. Bill's character is in an open relationship, so what does that mean to be a South Asian woman in an open relationship? Because they're doing it, I see it quite often, but then there's nowhere to talk about that, and what does that mean? And then you're labeled all of these things like a slut or a hoe or she's loose, of loose morale and character. But what does that mean when so many women are doing it, and what are their expectations of love and dating, and what does that look like?
Hey.
Hi.
So what's your name?
Anarkali.
Sorry?
Anarkali.
What's your background?
I'm Canadian.
No, like where are your parents from?
India.
Ooh. I could use a little curry in my life. It's curry time.
They say it's our time as South Asians on TV right now, but if you look at Priyanka Chopra's role in Quantico, it's not really our story. We're not all running around from the cops on a daily basis. Well, maybe some of us, but not all of us. And then when you look at Mindy Kaling, she speaks about our story to a certain extent. Anarkali in general is speaking about our stories 110%, if not more. So there's a lot of power in that content creation. Where do you think that power exists in its message?
I think, honestly, for someone that literally grew up with the community, has been working with the community since the last 7 years, and just understanding what it's like to be a brown girl in this society. Even though Anarkali is very, very lighthearted, it still has so many messages that we haven't seen on TV before or we haven't seen in the mainstream. So I feel like Anarkali wants to do justice to those stories that haven't been told yet.
So what do you want people to take away from this, from Anarkali, when they're watching it?
All in all, Anarkali is just a light-hearted comedy that just, I think, if I look at it, I would think of it as a love letter to South Asian women, to Indian women. And this is just the experiences of myself, of my friends, of the women I know. And I just wanted to put it on screen, and I shot it in such a way that it would honor our experiences. If it was the first time our stories were being told in this way, I wanted to set the bar really high so that the younger lot coming up that's going to shoot knows that this is the bar that they have to match.
Don't forget to stay in the loop for your weekly dose of entertainment glitz and glam with ANOKHI Pulse TV, and for exclusive access to what's hot and happening from behind the velvet rope.